I don't know why it's always so dark here. They can install some lights in here, for crying out loud. Plus the dripping water in all the hallways and things. Creepy, creepy. Plus you can't go into a whole wing when Batman decides to visit. So a lot of issues there. So I am talking about Professor Pyg and my diagnosis for him. As I said before, I have invalidated and corrected the misdiagnosis of schizophrenia. It just doesn't make sense. However, there's a couple things. His full diagnosis is going to include the following. The first is substance-induced delusion related to a substance disorder. His substance disorder is the weird chemicals he uses to control people's brains and other things. As a brilliant chemist, he gets high on his own supply, or at least has been exposed to those things. Now, that also ties in with a diagnosis of PTSD. Some people think talking about trauma indicates approval somehow of people's deviant behavior, and that is not true. Most people with PTSD don't go do wild things, but it can lead to other problems that we're going to get into here. So definite trauma, it's not verifiable, but he claims that he was a secret agent of some kind for a shadowy government agency, which also it would include lots of trauma, according to his report. But we can't verify that through collateral information. Now, the two major diagnoses that contribute to his actions, I believe, are a combination of comorbidity is what we call this, comorbid diagnoses of obsessive-compulsive personality disorder and antisocial personality disorder. We're going to talk a lot about personality disorders, especially what we call cluster B. I'll get into that more. A lot of people in here are going to have this. Antisocial personality disorder will come up a lot. We'll get more into that in the future. It's basically leads to criminality and self-oriented behaviors. OCPD, however, is very important because it's different than obsessive-compulsive disorder. The primary difference is that if you have obsessive-compulsive personality disorder, you can become so invested in the belief that your compulsions are true, or that your obsessions are true, rather, and that your compulsive behaviors are necessary. And you can get to that point so much so that many people with OCPD are difficult to be in a relationship with, ranging all the way up to sometimes even becoming abusive with people in their family or social circle, or trying to force their beliefs on other people to the point where it damages relationships, or can even in extreme cases lead to abuse. Now, this is a more extreme, but this is, the neighborhood that this asylum is located in is a comic book neighborhood, and so everything's a little more extreme. And you see where those things may contribute to some of the willful choices that this individual has made to become violent. It's very important, by the way. Mental illness doesn't let us off the hook, but it can provide a context to explain some things. So OCPD and ASPD, or antisocial personality disorder, those are the best explanation for what might be going on for this patient. I will bring you information about the treatment plan that we're going to do. Oh boy, that's going to be a tough one to think of. I might need a minute to figure out how are we going to treat this pig man, if we will. So until next time, goodbye from Arkham.